fenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
You took it all.
Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. Democrats are accusing former President Donald Trump of inciting an armed insurrection aimed at assassinating his Vice President Mike Pence and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, last month. In devastating evidence presented at his impeachment trial, the Democrats revealed footage previously unseen by the public that shows the Vice President and his family being rushed to safety by the Secret Service, and minute-by-minute videos showing the mob searching for Speaker Pelosi and other elected officials. They've also released police radio traffic in which officers beg for reinforcements to help them control the riot.
Multiple capital entries! Multiple capital entries!
1318.
Intel 1B advised you got a group of about 50 charging up the hill on the west front, just north of the stairs. They're approaching the wall now.
They're starting to dismantle the reviewing stand and throwing metal poles at us. We need some reinforcements up here now. They're starting to pull the gates down. They're throwing metal poles at us.
Senators will have 4 hours to question the Democrats before the president's defense lawyers present their case. President Joe Biden has announced he's preparing targeted sanctions against military leaders in Myanmar following the coup that took place 10 days ago. He also says he will freeze U.S. assets that are associated with the military leadership in the country. From FSN's Washington Bureau, Nick Harper reports.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since the coup, during which time the US has expressed its deep concern. Now, President Biden is announcing more concrete steps.
I've approved a new executive order enabling us to immediately sanction the military leaders who directed the coup, their business interests, as well as close family members.
The President said he would also prevent the military generals having access to $1 billion worth of Burmese government funds held in the US. The US hopes other countries will now follow suit and impose their own sanctions on those involved in the takeover. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
The White House coronavirus response team says the COVID-19 variant first identified in the UK could become dominant in the US by the end of next month. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is warning that there will be a need to revaccinate the public in the autumn to protect against new strains of COVID-19. From FSN's London Bureau, Sophie Peachy has more.
The UK Prime Minister's comment comes on the same day that the Transport Secretary, Grant Shapps, was forced to defend controversial plans to introduce 10-year jail sentences for those who lie about travelling into the UK from red list countries. Mr Shapps has called the measures appropriate at this stage in the pandemic, saying it would be an unnecessary risk to allow the success of the vaccine rollout to be undone by imported variants. Oxford scientists are hoping to have a new vaccine ready for the latter quarter of the year to prevent against new strains.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The Storks are bringing me a baby brother! together. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
You know, out in Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
And welcome to this week's episode of City Talk with About Town Deb. I am your host, Debbie McCarthy, and I would like to give a huge thank you to Christian with FenixMedia.us, who's producing our show and many other shows. So please be sure to check out FenixMedia.us. And if you want to text in while you're watching the show, 775-741-2596. We will have Georgia and Melissa, and we have a new team member, which I'm excited, and I'm hoping he's watching. We just signed him up. We have an intern from UNR, our first intern, Matthew Clark. I hope I got that name right, because sometimes I get names wrong. But Matthew, we had an amazing interview with him. And Melissa, thank you for taking care of that. And we're really excited. We feel like our team every week is getting more completed. As my saying is, together we are one heart. You got to start at home. You got to start with your family, and you continue on with your work and your community and on and on. So today it is Wednesday, but it's in February. It's almost Valentine's Day, but it's also Heart Month. And so women's health, we have Dr. Madeline Hardacre. Welcome. So I'm so excited. Amazing. And the cool thing is you have a practice we're going to talk about. It's a little bit different than most practices. And that's why we love you, because you think outside the box. And a lot of us women don't like to go to the doctors. We have this, I don't want to go, I'm fine. And sometimes we just have to go, whether we want to or not. It's for our own health. So we're going to talk about women's health and about not just heart health, about eating healthy and your lifestyle. Now more than ever with the pandemic, our lifestyles have been, some people have just become couch potatoes. Some people have rocked the walk, and we got to find that balance of both. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. But before we start talking, I want to thank Kim Surratt with Surratt Law and Practice, one of our first sponsors, and Kirk Allure with GratisGives processing. And I love about GratisGives is that when you use their credit card processing, a portion of your charges or your fees go to a local nonprofit, and you get to pick two of them of your choice of their, I think they have 11 or 12 right now.
Super cool.
So, and the fees are lower than other fees. So not only do you get a break, you're getting to donate, and it's not costing you anything to pick. So it's really cool. So Kurt, thank you for joining as a sponsor. As you know, I'm just going to try to get down and get back up. So check the back here. And so you can point.
Yes.
So here we go. I'm going to go down. Here we go.
Can you see the braid? A beautiful braid. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that is thanks to Caliber. You may have got a bottom shot, sorry. That's thanks to Caliber Hair and Makeup Salon in Midtown in Reno. And Jossie, thank you. And she put in blue because I wanted to, we went to Natasha's World Jewelry, Georgia and I, they're having an amazing Valentine's sale. And this is Firefly. And I love this jewelry. And it really probably doesn't match my red, but I wanted to wear red. And that's this, I had it, and the other piece I had, I lost one of the earrings, which I do. So anyway, I decided to wear it. And so Jossie said, let me put blue to kind of bring up there's a little bit of blue in here. So Natasha, thank you. You can check them out. They're at the Meadowood Mall. And then as usual, I love to shop at Labels Boutique. This is my red top from Labels Boutique. And we are gonna pop some bubbles from Crystal Basin because it is almost Valentine's Day, but you don't need Valentine's Day to have bubbles, do you? No, we don't. So I'm gonna, as I'm trying to pop this, I'm gonna go ahead and say, we always say a little bit about the week. So I'm gonna try, see if I can multitask, talk and open at the same time. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna try. Oh, whoa, I did it! I don't usually, I did it, I popped it, that's good. So I will try to pour and talk, how's that? So we wanna give a shout out, Crystal Basin right here, Mike Owen and Melissa Owen. And they also are the proud producers of my Together We Are One About Town Dub wine. And yeah, I'm so excited. So we're gonna go ahead and pour. I'm gonna get this. So talking about Together We Are One Heart and wine, a portion, $1 of every bottle, here we go, $1 of every bottle up to February 19th is going to the Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation. Tonight is their big event, the Giants event. And if you go to Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation.com, you can, I think you can still sign up, it's virtual. And the sports announcers of the actual Giants baseball team are going to be chatting with everybody. And there's amazing gifts and auction items. And Sherry Fitzpatrick, former Sherry of Sherry's Berries, Buried in Chocolate, we went together in a package. So we have a 2-night stay in her beautiful Bed and Berries B&B in Fairplay in Placerville. Jazzy and Georgia and I, Georgia, I'm trying to get away from that. We are part of the package. So if you bid on it, then we will also be your host along with Sherry and the wine country. And we're going to take you to Nello Olivos for a private tasting in the cellar room. And we're going to do a barrel tasting at Crystal Basin. And Sherry chocolate covered official Giants baseball. We got lots of goodies. So I'm excited that we were able to be a sponsor of that. And other thing, my goal was $5,000. This weekend, we were at the GSR. It was Super Bowl. We actually were we were hosted in a beautiful suite there. And there were I want to say 4 to 6 people. That was it in this huge suite, very private. And you got to order the food in. So they sent you pizza, chicken wings, fries, all this stuff, and Corona. And it was just a few of us. But so while we were there, the guests that invited us, I gave them my mask, and they actually donated, was it $800 or $900? $900. So thank you to our GSR friends. They are not the GSR, but our friends who were at the GSR from Carson City and beyond for contributing to make that happen. So I'm very grateful. And it's time for a break. So I'm going to take that break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about women's health with Dr. Madeline. So stay tuned. It's About Town Devon City Talk. When we come back, we'll do a cheers.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate a buck to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to GratisGives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to GratisGives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting GratisGives at 855-464-7284 or online at GratisGives.com.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to the second segment of City Talk, and I'm About Town Deb, your host, aka Debbie McCarthy. Most people call me About Town Deb, but I actually have a name, Debbie McCarthy. I'm excited today to have my good friend, Dr. Madeline Hardacre, joining us. So before we get to the heart health, we are going to take a cheers. So Georgia, come on over here. We are going to cheers to you. We're going to cheers to good health, prosperity, and Georgia's getting, we're waiting for Jazzy Georgia. She's stuck with that name. There we go. So if you're out there, know that we're so grateful and we love our community and we're about local. And to me, Crystal Basin is as local as I could get because they're over the hill and they've been by my side for the last 8 years. So here we go. If you have water even, have a sip. Ah, I love bubbles. So I'm gonna, since we just had a sip, I want to regress or whatever you say a little bit back. So today, Mike Owen at Crystal Basin sent me a case of my wine because I can't give wine away. I mean, if I personally buy it from Crystal Basin, I can gift it. I have a distributor now. So we have to do all the proper channels. So with that said, I asked Mike, can you send me a case of wine from Crystal Basin that produces it so that we can do a wine tasting? We are doing a wine tasting tomorrow night at, it's for a Galentine at the Village out in Ranchera. It is sold out, but not to fret because you are listening right now. And if you watch the replay, at least until, I don't know, I'm sure we can honor it for a few days after Valentine's Day. You're going to get a bottle of bubbles. You're going to get my wine. You can mix and match. So if you want one bottle of either one, it's $30, including shipping, right to your door. If you want two bottles, it's $50. Two bubbles, two Deb, one or the other, you can mix and match. 3 is $65, $200 for a case, all include shipping. You just need to message me at About Town Deb so that I can get your information and then they'll know that you're part of the deal. So I'm excited about that. I wanted to make sure. So here's the funny story. This is why About Town Deb is keeping it real. These two thought it was funny. So I'm at Caliber and I'm getting my beautiful braid done. So I have to tell my neighbor, hey, wine is coming. Shout out UPS. My son works for UPS. So I'm like, hey, you have to be here to sign for it because it's alcohol. So my neighbor is like, I'm on the watch. I'm on the watch. I put a note on. So I'm at Caliber and I get this thing that somebody went in my house. So my neighbor has my code. I'm like, oh, my wine must have. So I'm like, hey, Misty, did my wine? Oh, your wine arrived. And by the way, I know you're having your show you're in your house and you have your doctor friend coming over and you have some other friends coming over and your house is a mess. I'm like, what? Because I had boxes that had to go out to recycle. I hadn't taken them out yet. So I'm like, silly, you don't have to do that. I'm fine. I go, if they don't like me with a little bit of recycle in the way, it's okay. Because I'm real. So I call Georgia. Georgia, when you arrive, you might see my neighbor. Georgia goes, she's already here. she's already vacuumed and we're cleaning your house. So
Okay, I thought this was
What?
hilarious because when I pulled up, there was somebody like leaving the house with a vacuum cleaner going to the next house.
were you wondering? That was my neighbor's son.
But that's awesome.
I'm
How
gonna
nice
say
is that? But your house is not a mess.
it wasn't a mess. But you know what? That is what community is about.
Exactly.
How often, like, do you have a neighbor you're close with? Okay, I am lucky. Like, they know we share each
You're very
other's
lucky.
refrigerators.
I lived in situations where I had
love it.
a very close neighbor.
So I just had to share that because I want to show you that I am really about town Deb. You may see me all fancy out and about, but when it comes to it, I don't like putting my recycle out either, or even getting my mail. So enough of that. We've handled all the personal stuff, all the funny stories. We are going to get right into women's health part, and that is really important. And I got to say, Dr. Madeline, can I call you Dr. Madeline? Is that okay? Or would you want Hardacre? Because I know she's Madeline to me, and she's going to be your bestie when you have her. But she is a board certified in gynecology, which is kind of a tough one for me. So we may have to not talk about certain words, and lifestyle medicine. She's also a wellness certified health coach, which is important nowadays. We totally need that. And we all have a little bit of stress. And the best part about you is the healthy eating with the plant-based. And she is a founder of Women's Health Elevated, plus many more things we're going to find out about. So Dr. Madeline, welcome officially.
Thank you.
And cheers
This is
again
so
to
fun.
you.
Yes.
So now I want you just to, tell us about like what made you as a young woman say, I want to be a gynecologist. That wasn't in my notes. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay, I actually got an answer to this.
You do.
Or an answer to this question, yes.
Well, I don't know. Somebody made me say it. Wasn't me.
No, I think I have a good answer. Like, because I've been asked this question many, many times over the course of my life. You know what? Actually, I went into medical school thinking I wanted to do something surgical, and my plan was for a long time ENT. So
ear, nose, throat.
Yes, exactly. So that was kind of the route I was taking. But in med school, you have to do different rotations, like in different subjects, and so you do internal medicine and you do surgery. And anyway, my OBGYN rotation was at the very end of my third year. So that's like the year that you're trying to make this decision. And so it wasn't until the very end. My husband was a year older than me. My husband was a year older or a year ahead of me, and he hated his OBGYN rotation. And so I just hadn't even crossed my mind. And after spending all this time
over this way,
yes.
hold on. I don't know which way. Are we going the right way? Go the other way. No, I'm sorry, guys, but because Christian said to move this way, this way. Move over to me. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Sorry, this is live TV. Go ahead.
Perfect. Anyway, like I literally had never considered this, and I spent a lot of time at the VA hospital, and nothing against older gentlemen, but I realized that was not like, I just didn't click. Like I clicked with women and like listening to women. And so I kind of took from that, like, okay, like, well, what could I do where
you're around women?
Right.
That would be us.
Right. Those were the people that I really enjoyed talking to. And so anyway, I did my OBGYN rotation and I just loved it. And never looked back.
So when you're, I don't know. So when you're doing, I do watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy and stuff, but when you're doing the rotation, like you're doing certain ones, did you have to do extra time then in the OBGYN area? Or is it all count together?
So you do separate, so I have probably 8 weeks or so in OBGYN, but then once you decide that that's what you're interested in, then you start doing more.
That's what I was getting at.
Yes.
So that's where you started.
Yes.
And you decided women, really, you want to be able to support us.
Yes.
And because
it was the conversations with women that were what really I really enjoyed and what resonated with me as far as how I want to spend the rest of my life.
I love it. So it is women's heart health. So it really is. And we're wearing red in honor of that. I know it's not your specialty because you're OBGYN specialty and health coach, but I know it's a simple question. But what is, I know it's a heart problem, but what is heart disease and the importance of raising awareness during this month, and why is that important? Help
Yeah,
prevent
so,
it.
I mean, first of all, heart disease kind of encompasses a number of things, but the most common and most, like the one that we really think of is coronary artery disease. So that's when, you know, the vessels that supply oxygen to the muscle of the heart are the coronary arteries.
Okay.
And so when those are diseased and when plaques build up in those arteries, they start narrowing. And so there's decreased blood flow to that muscle.
Okay.
And then that starts creating the problem. If those plaques break off or a clot forms around them, then it causes a heart attack. So that's like when we think of heart disease, that's what most of us are thinking about. And the thing is it's really preventable.
Well,
so,
but some of us tend to want to have, like, maybe not walk as much or have too much fried food or put ourselves in stressful conditions where we're not taking care. And I think that women and men both, sometimes we're like, we just don't want to, I don't even want to know. I'm just being honest with you.
Totally.
So do you have, so what can we do as women and men to start to change it up a little bit? And we'll start it, and then we go to break, we'll finish up with that question. So let's start prevention.
Okay, well, can I say one more thing?
Whatever you want. This is your show.
And then we can take
This is your show.
Well, because the other thing is those factors that cause disease in the coronary arteries cause disease other places too, or cause disease in the vessels other places too. So strokes, peripheral artery disease, other vascular conditions. And so it's not just our heart we're talking about, really. It's all of the vessels.
It encompasses everything. Because that, like you say, together we're one heart. It starts with that heartbeat. You're born with that heartbeat. We want to keep that heartbeat strong.
Absolutely. And you've got to keep those vessels healthy. And so, so from a prevention standpoint, how much time do I have?
You have another half a minute.
Okay.
Just push that through.
Okay.
Push that baby through. Push that pod through. I don't know, you're making me funny today.
I mean, the first thing is recognizing that there are modifiable risk factors. So like we all have different risk factors for heart disease. There are some things that we simply can't change. We can't change how old we are. We can't change our family history or our genetics, but then we can change how we eat, how we move our bodies, whether or not we smoke or not, you know, the stress in our lives. People think that they don't have control over it, but there are actually some ways that you can manage that. So,
well, we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to manage that with a sip of champagne when we're out. This is About Town Deb on City Talk. We want you to be interactive. Please go to our Facebook page, comment, ask questions. You can text me. And what is your group page, your Facebook page?
Oh, Women's Health Elevated.
Women's Health Elevated. So please go there.
And I also have a private Facebook group.
Yes, and we'll talk about that. We'll be right back. It's About Town Deb with City Talk. Stay tuned.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate up to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to GratisGives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to GratisGives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting GratisGives at 855-464-7284 or online at GratisGives.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And we are back for the third segment. You might have heard us chatting, even though Christian had on quiet during the break, because Georgia was telling us where to move and where to go, but that's okay. That's why we have a handler over there. So anyway, I just want to keep it real, because now you know that we actually are behind the scenes and we're working while we're here. So we are interactive. It is About Town Deb, my town, your town, any town. Let's connect. And also with Dr. Madeline. So tell us your Facebook group page.
Yes.
While we're saying connect.
Yeah, Women's Health Elevated. So I have a page, and then I have a private group for women that you can just go in and message me that you want to join, and I share heart healthy and just general like
amazing recipes. Oh my gosh, yes.
And inspiration and just other things.
Well, we're really excited about that because we've been chatting about having a health segment. So might be looking for this amazing doctor on a health segment. And then we could share her page and we can get some cool recipes. I also, speaking of pages, see this, we kind of flow into things. Melissa out there, my amazing marketing director, by the way, Melissa, I have a marketing director. Yes! I'm so excited. So all of these entries. So when we did our About Town Deb, My Town, Your Town, Any Town Facebook group, we said if you join the group, doesn't matter if you liked our pages, and you were going to get your name in a entry. So Melissa literally hand wrote over 200 in some of these. And during our private group page, I did it live, I closed my eyes, we wished it around, and David Holman, the chef at the Atlantis, won. So I sent an email to Mike Owen and Melissa, and he's getting a 2-pack of my About Town Deb wine just for joining us. So we will be giving out plenty of prizes. Who knows what else us women can come up with. So please be sure to follow both our groups and our pages. Well, we'll go back to women's health. Oh, before that, Grandma B and Aunt Glenda, I love you. I always, so, you know, how everybody does like this or whatever. Grandma B, we love you. So I just want to make sure that's like a ritual with About Town Deb. We always got to know where we come from. So we were talking about women and women's heart health. So each woman, we all have our own unique. Everybody's different. So tell us about what can be different with each unique heart risk.
Yeah, so right before the break, we were talking about how there are risk factors that you just can't change, like your age or your genetics. But then there are risk factors that you can. And women then have their own set. So the risks that both women and men share are being overweight or obese,
Okay.
having hypertension, having insulin resistance or diabetes.
Okay.
Okay. Smoking, excessive alcohol, not just an occasional glass. But
Excessive.
Okay.
Not occasional.
Right. So, I'm trying to think of if there is anything. I think I hit. Oh, and smoking.
Yeah.
I think maybe I said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so women and men both share these. There's also high cholesterol.
So
like
high cholesterol though could be, is it genetic? Yeah.
Yes. It can
Or
be
you
genetic,
can help
or
it
it could
if
be
you-
due to your lifestyle.
See, I had high, and then I started exercising and eating better, and it went down.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. So we have those risks, but then women have their own unique risks.
So what would that mean?
And so that means the biggest thing that comes to mind is women that have had some kind of prior pregnancy-related complication, such as pregnancy-induced hypertension or hypertensive disorders during pregnancy or preeclampsia.
I did not know that.
Or gestational diabetes. Those women have then an increased risk of heart disease down the road. And so, and it gets kind of overlooked a lot. And so, anyway, there's somebody who's very important in my life who's watching right now that this really is Victoria. She shares her story with us very frequently. So I have to give her a little shout out. But and then also women who have had a history of breast cancer have an increased risk of heart disease. And so, there are these things that are just unique to being a woman that we have to take into consideration. And then our risk of heart disease increases after we go through menopause.
So what if you go through menopause early? I did that because I had a hysterectomy. I had a complete hysterectomy. So that, and then they also tell you that you shouldn't do the extra estrogen. I mean, there's all these things that happen.
Yeah.
So as women, if I feel like we get one thing and it affects another thing. So what can we do as a woman? Like, I guess communicate well with our doctor, number one.
So, and I think that's the biggest, piece of advice is to have a really good conversation with your provider about what your risk really is, based on your blood work, based on your family history, based on your lifestyle, looking at all those factors, but having somebody who really sits down and puts the whole picture together for you, and then can help you make that decision on hormone replacement therapy or other things that could be used.
So since we're talking about communication and having that, your practice is outside the box.
It is.
So I want to make sure that we know what a rock star you are and how you are outside the box and why women feel more comfortable with you. And we have busy lifestyles with work and our kids, and you will find the time. So tell us about where your office is. Listen to this.
Well, so
I mean,
one day a week I see patients in person in a medical office. So for women that want the traditional setting, there's that option. I also meet patients out on trails, or I've even met some people at their homes, and I don't do that very frequently, but that is an option. And then I also do a lot of telehealth, which is great, I think, because I feel like I really see people in their environment, and it takes down this barrier of being in a clinical office that I feel like exists.
How often you go to the doctor and they sit you down? Number one, they weigh you first, which is horrible. I always say, like, can I take off my shoes, my purse, I like almost half strip. I do. I take pretty much everything I can off because I don't want those extra ounces. But then they sit you down and you wait. And then they do your blood pressure and it's always higher. And I'm like, well, it's because I'm stressed being here. So you get being a teledoctor, they're home and they're like, oh, I'm home, I'm good.
I see my patients, they're in their pajamas with their cup of coffee, with their dogs, like snuggled with their dogs or their kids, or, or they're, on their lunch break at work, or, I have patients that I'm seeing this evening after their work hours. So anyway, I try to create that flexibility so that visiting and having an appointment with me is not a stressful experience.
I love it. So we have talked about like your specialty.
Yes.
So we're going to kind of combine those two together. So why is taking care of your gynecologist stuff, why is it to do with heart? I mean, I'm one of those that don't communicate well, just so you know. So go ahead and spill it.
So I just, from the perspective of a gynecologist,
Yes,
and
it doesn't seem to fit.
Right, in my current practice, I don't do any gynecologic exams or anything. But from the standpoint of a gynecologist, there are a lot of, and we're very well adept at like taking care of all the gynecologic issues, but also there are a lot of women that see us as their primary care doctor.
I agree.
Through a lot of their reproductive years. And so from that standpoint, many times it's the gynecologist that might be ordering your labs.
That's true.
Or managing your weight or managing your blood pressure early on and then referring you on to a primary care doctor. But I just feel that we play a very important role in women's health because of that, because of the fact that so many women just see us for a number of years.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, now that I'm a little bit older, I go less to the gynecologist, and I have an amazing primary care physician that I adore. And I could talk with her, but my gynecologist was my go-to. Like, you were there, and then you have your babies, and all this. They're there. They're there from
and everything,
and even from trying to get pregnant, or all your stuff. Like when you're I'm just going to go there. What age, if you're a mom out there, what age should your young daughter have her first exam?
You know what? The recommendations on that have changed a lot, and so. Either at the time that they become sexually active, they should at least see somebody to handle birth control, STD testing, and things like that. The actual pap smear is not recommended until the age of 21 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But if you got married like at 18, that might change, right?
No,
really? I don't know. See, I'm so old, I don't remember when that happened. That was a long time ago. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it definitely, I practiced as a gynecologist for 20 years, and over that 20 years, that definitely changed. And now for young women, say in their teenage years, I think establishing a relationship with a gynecologist is something that's reasonable to do, particularly if they're having problems with their menstrual cycles or need birth control, but it's not something that they have to do.
Okay, well, I cannot believe it. Oh my gosh, it's another time for another break. But we also want to let you know that if you're watching the replay, please put replay. If you have any questions, we will get them to Dr. Madeline, and we'd love you to like her page as well. And we're here for you guys. This is your show. We're just here to not just entertain, we want to educate. And I know I do a lot of fun stuff, but you know what? I got to be serious every now and then. And this is really important, even though I don't like going to the doctors. You need to like going to the doctors. So when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation about the use of your lifestyle to help lower your risk, which is nutrition, physical activity. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So stay tuned.
It's the fun stuff.
The fun stuff! Yay! So it's About Town Deva City Talk. We'll be right back after it'll be our fourth and final break. So stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Cheers.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes.
2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And we're back with the fourth and final segment. Dr. Madeline, what the heck? You're so much fun. Ugh. I'm glad we're gonna twist that arm to get her back. So before we go into the last segment, tell us how to get a hold of you. I want to make sure, because at the end of the show, it always goes by fast.
Yes, womenshealthelevated.com is my website.
Okay.
And then that has all my contact information.
And you can also go on Facebook, Women's
Yep,
Health.
and you can schedule online, and I have
How cool is that?
packages, and I have small group coaching for middle-aged women.
Oh.
Which is super fun.
That'd be
Maybe
me.
I need to get her.
I mean, because I have issues, you know. Yeah, like having my neighbor have to come clean, or take out my trash. I don't know, or tell me not to run. I am a runner, you know, not that kind of run. We're just keeping it real. That is what. So think about it. I would rather you go, hey, Deb is just like us.
Yes.
I'm being honest. Like, I don't like to go to the doctor. I wait until the very, very last minute to say, I guess I better. I'm probably a year past my path. And I still have to get one, even though I'm over the age. And I was supposed to get it last year in the pandemic. I'm like, that's a good excuse not to go get it. And now it's been a year, and I'm going to have.
Those cancer screenings are important.
I know. So if there's one thing that you can tell a young woman, a middle-aged woman, a senior woman, any woman, what could you tell them to help make a difference in their life when it comes to their health? That wasn't on the plan.
Wow. Okay, that's a big question. You know what? I think my answer to this question would be that they need to really know what they want from their health. Like, they really have to look at, like, what are their goals? How do they want to feel? Like, what do they want their health to look like? And that's going to then help them create steps moving forward and to make very intentional choices that will get them there. I think sometimes in the medical offices, and I know I struggled with this as a physician, like, I had my agenda for someone. Like, if you came into my office, I had my agenda.
A plan for me.
I had a plan for
I'm
you.
getting you a coach.
No, the problem is it took me a long time to realize that like, I really needed to listen to what was on your agenda and what your priorities were. And I think it's important to identify those things, like, when you're the patient, like, what is your priority, and just going into the doctor's office knowing, like, what you're hoping to get out of the visit.
So with all that, lifestyle. You are like in such good shape, and it's so important to you. You walk the talk. So tell us about walk the talk with us. Tell us how you share your walk with us, your stride. Share it with us.
No, and I think, I mean, just speaking to what I just said, I have a very clear vision of what I want my life to look like over the next few decades. And so I am going to do things with my lifestyle that are going to give me the best chances of that happening. And so, you know, when you talk about lifestyle, and so this is what my practice does. It's lifestyle medicine. Okay. So when I see women, I tell them, you know, they're still going to see their gynecologist. They're still going to see their primary care doctor. I'm going to help them reach their health goals through nutrition, physical activity, managing stress better, sleep.
That's a tough one.
Optimizing sleep, which is so important, you know, and finding good support within their community or within their family for the things that they're trying to accomplish.
So with that said, finding support. So you do have the coaching, and I know that being the age I'm at, that I would rather chat with women who are like-minded in the same age group versus going into a group where there's a 30-year-old or an 18-year-old, and then, you know, there's an 80-year-old. I mean, it's not, I mean, we all count and we're all important, but I think if you stick to like your like-minded women and like-minded goals, you're going to help each other stick to those goals. You can have an accountability partner. You can have somebody say, hey, Deb, you know what, when's the last time you walked? Which I've been bad. So get out there and walk. And the weather's beautiful. So if you're listening, we'd love you to, in the comments, hit replay, but tell us what you do. Like, tell us what you're doing to help your lifestyle. Tell us, do you feel you need to do something? Are you on a healthy track?
And speaking of the support, like, women are just much more apt to take on a challenge, something that might feel a little hard when somebody else is doing it with them. And so that's the power of community, like surrounding yourself with other people that are wanting to improve their health also, or improve their lifestyle, or maybe walk a little bit more, eat a little healthier.
So speaking of eating healthier, I love, so as About Town Deb, I love to connect.
Yes.
And we got to connect.
Yes, we did.
So Kay and Shai would squeeze in, their mom.
Yes.
And
I have since connected her to other friends of mine.
So you share a little bit about how we all connected that together.
Okay, so you and I were doing an interview, and I mentioned that I am a huge plant-based enthusiast. Like, whole food plant-based nutrition is just one of my passions. I love cooking that way. I love eating that way. And you have a friend, Misty, who is the mother of
Kay and Shai.
Yes, Kay and Shai. And anyway, so she lives in Oregon, but she was visiting, so we all got together.
To squeeze in.
Yes.
We squeezed in, and now you guys are connected, and you've connected.
Oh, and we talk all the time. And then now I've connected her to somebody else. But anyway,
but that's what it's about. Yeah. So when you surround yourself with like-minded people on whatever your topic is, whether it's health, fitness, movies, radio, TV shows. Oh, TV shows. Throw that up. What was that show that you and Georgia connected on? Put it out there. Bridgerton. We got to throw that in there talking about women's health.
I'm embarrassed to admit that. I actually rarely watch TV, but yeah.
Georgia made me watch it. Bridgerton. So it's good. It's actually, I mean, I got her to blush. I'm just saying that, talk about women's health, that's pretty good for women's health. I don't know if we want to go to that topic, but I don't know. I just had to throw some kind of Debbie talk in there. Anyway, but connecting is important. So that's what I'm saying. So think about, I mean, I was being serious about that. I've seen a lot of people in Facebook groups or even on TV shows. So I also have a segment on Good Day Nevada, which was Good Day Carson, and I'm so honored to be a part of that. So every Friday I have a segment, and I may be doing another segment as well on Friday nights, but definitely Friday mornings. Every Friday morning I do an About Town Deb segment. And during the show, Cassandra, who's the host, had said, "Hey, what's up with Bridgerton?" And then I'm like, I know that one. Jazzy Georgia had me watch it. So what I'm saying is that it connected people together. So it's as simple as a TV show. It's as simple as, hey, I love this wine, or oh my gosh, I love to take hikes on Peavine. You want to join me? So really, what I'm getting at is, you never know who you're going to meet when you meet them, and where your paths are going to cross again.
Well, and I think on that topic, it brings up how important it is to just in our day-to-day activities to just be present.
Yes.
Because if your mind is elsewhere, then all these connections all these opportunities to like really connect with the people in front of you get missed.
I agree. And you know what? I cannot believe it. It's 3 minutes, and I do have a few more things. So we are definitely going to have you back. We're going to we may have like a sassy doctor segment. I don't know. We're going to work on something clever, because we need to have Dr. Madeline back. And website one more time.
Women's Health Elevated.
Okay. And About Town Deb for me. Next week, I'm actually going to have both my sponsors on. I love when that happens. Kim Surratt Family Law, and Kirk Allure with GratisGives. Next week, it is the Random Acts of Kindness. And we also, Kirk is going to be bringing on one of his nonprofits that he partners with. It's either going to be one of the businesses that support or the nonprofit, or both. But Kim is always fun to have on set. I love Kim Surratt, so we're excited. But I want you guys, number one, thank you again. I'd love you to check out On About Town Deb, my Instagram, my Facebook, my website. I have 2 social media campaigns that are happening right now. One of them is for Valentine's Day. And if you go, you will find it. Make your Valentine's Day a one to remember. If you go and you enter, you tell your Valentine's story, you get a chance to win champagne, Duranda's chocolate, Nevada Sunset wine, and wine from Crystal Basin, and all kinds of goodies. So that's one. The second one is nominate your bartender for World Bartender Day. So you can go on and you can find that link as well. Pick your favorite bartender, and we're partnered with Hungry in Reno. Cherie, we love you and we thank you. And the winner's going to get some cool prizes, and they're also going to get, if they participate in Reno Restaurant Week, they will have their fee waived. And the winner will be on the show for that week, but we're not going to tell you who it's going to be. We're going to show up at their place. So we are doing lots of fun stuff with About Town Deb, food, wine, and travel. And I also want to give a shout out to Holiday Inn Express as well, because we had a great meeting with their team, and we have some cool things in the works in a couple months. So About Town Deb is like doing the little traveling, doing fun stuff. But number one, we love you. We appreciate you. We want you to tune in to all of our websites, our social media platforms, join the Facebook group. I have an amazing team. I want to welcome Matthew Clark again. I want to thank Melissa, Jazzy Georgia over here. Thank you. Christian, Design on Edge, Labels, everybody, Kim Surratt. There's so many. The whole community that if you're watching, you're important to us. And we want you to remember that together we are one heart. Remember, when you're out there today, show them kindness, show them grace. Remember that we all make mistakes. We're not perfect, but mainly be kind to yourself, right? Be kind to yourself. And if we could say one thing, I really think is we just love you and we care about you. And we're glad to be able to partner with such amazing people in our community. And again, Christian, thank you for taking our show up a notch. And it's About Town Deb with City Talk. I'll see you next week, and follow me at About Town Deb.